Nagaland Chief Minister NE8 today asserted that if there are any cases where victims of Manmaku enters the state, they must be dealt with on humanitarian grounds. Rio said this while speaking to section of media after the cabinet meeting held at Civil Secretariat in Kohima. Chief Minister Rio informed that the matter was discussed. However, so far there has been no such report of Myanmar citizens crossing the border to Nagaland. He said some have crossed the border for health services, purchase of essential commodities and wedding purposes, and they were allowed to enter and returned accordingly.
We discussed about the Myanmar issue.
Yes, sir.
And so far, we are not having much problem.
Okay.
Some people crossed for some treatment, medicine, or sold essential commodities, and some came for wedding purposes. So they were allowed and they were sent back. But there is no refugee movement.
The Chief Minister, however, said deputy commissioners and administrative officers were informed to deal with human feelings if there are any such cases.
We will see the situation and deal with this. We had informed our deputy commissioner, administrative officers, to deal with them with human feelings.
Okay.
But so far, no such incident.
In news that has just come in, COVID vaccination camps can be held at workplaces that have around 100 eligible and willing beneficiaries, the center said today, to increase accessibility to the vaccine amid an explosive surge in infections. The program will be launched on April 11th, and states and union territories have been asked to make adequate preparations. The vaccine will be available for people aged 45 and above, the government said, amid a huge demand to allow its access to all adults. Recent figures from the Health Ministry have showed that this time, younger people, including children, are vulnerable to the disease. A letter from the Health Secretary to the Chief Secretary sent today read, with support of the state governments and Union Territory administration, the efforts have been to consistently make the vaccination drive more pragmatic and also more acceptable and purposeful to the beneficiaries. On similar lines, in order to increase the access of vaccine to these populations, COVID-19 vaccination sessions may be organized at workplaces, both public and private, which are having about 100 eligible and willing beneficiaries by tagging these workplaces with an existing COVID vaccination center or CVC, the letter added. Coronavirus-related deaths crossed the 3 million mark worldwide as the world deals with the resurgence of the virus. Currently, vaccination drives are on across the world to prevent more outbreaks, especially involving mutants. A Reuters tally claims that it took over a year for the death toll to hit 2 million, but it crossed the 3 million mark over just 3 months. Cases are rising across the world, especially in 3 hardest hit countries, the United States, Brazil, and India. Currently, Brazil is leading with most number of new deaths reported daily on an average. A Reuters tally claims the country accounts for 1 in every 4 deaths reported related to coronavirus. The World Health Organization has acknowledged the dire conditions in Brazil, calling it a critical moment. Currently, many intensive care units in hospitals are running at over 90% capacity. The Manipur government today gave away eco-friendly auto rickshaws and rickshaws to 65 beneficiaries during a program held in Imphal. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh handed these e-auto rickshaws and e-rickshaws to the beneficiaries. The state government has introduced these eco-friendly vehicles with the aim of gradually phasing out the old auto rickshaws that operate on diesel. The diesel-run vehicles emit a substantial amount of carbon dioxide, one of the greenhouse gases that contribute to the rise in global temperatures. Speaking on the occasion, N. Biren Singh said these eco-friendly auto rickshaws and rickshaws will also address the increasing demand for public transportation in the state. immensely glad to distribute e-autos and e-rickshaws to 65 beneficiaries. Promotion of these environmentally friendly vehicles could be the most feasible solution to cater the increasing demand for public transportation, with a target of phasing out old diesel autos in the state, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh tweeted.